Now, to this story you can see behind me, because she's been called the coding queen, and at 17, my next guest has set up a charity to teach computer coding to pupils in India. Mahek Vara and her team of volunteers have already taught 70,000 youngsters, and a coding camp is now in 1,800 schools in the state of Gujarat. Oh, if you're not impressed with all of that, she's done it while she's studying for her A-levels at school. Well, I spoke to Mahek Vara a short while ago and began by asking her how she came up with this idea.
I'm originally from India, and we used to go to India every year. And my parents are really passionate about doing something for India, so I guess that idea instilled in me as well. I noticed that the education system there, lacked a 21st century relevant education, and I felt that that gap needed to be filled quickly so as to... And
why specifically computer coding? Because when you look at India, I mean, they're making huge strides when it comes to technology. So why did you think there was this gap?
So I think there's this gap in government schools, in children whose families come from low socioeconomic backgrounds. I feel like they still deserve the education that people across the globe are getting.
And you started teaching there yourself. Now, am I right, you actually taught students, but also the teachers themselves?
Yes, so a challenge that we came across was to reach the number of schools that I really wanted to reach to, and my team really wanted to reach to. We decided that to reach students in various other villages, it was necessary for us to teach the teachers so they could pass on the knowledge.
And we're seeing the pictures of you in situ there in the classroom. I mean, I'm intrigued. Why did you think you could teach this stuff when you only were learning about it yourself really recently?
So we obviously started the course as a beginner's course, and being a novice in programming myself at the time, I felt that I was in a really good position to be able to use my knowledge and my expertise in the sense that, I knew what it was like from the start, so I could really portray that.
And you do it with a team of volunteers. Tell me, how did you find those volunteers? How do you continue to find volunteers for this?
Right, so our team of volunteers came from various cities there. We partnered up with a company there, and they also provided their employees on a Saturday for them to volunteer at various schools. And I also have many other volunteers which don't do on-ground volunteering, but they help a lot behind the scenes. My school has helped as well. And
were you surprised just how fast it caught on? I said there in the introduction, 1,800 schools in Gujarat now involved. You want to take it to Sri Lanka, you want to take it to Gulf states. I mean, how surprised have you been at how quickly it's caught on?
I think definitely I've been surprised, but I'm really glad it's reached there. Just recently, a few weeks ago, we ran the program in a school in Saudi Arabia. So we have a volunteer there, Sultana, and she helped within the schools for us to reach there, because to teach in a place in Saudi Arabia, which is quite a difficult country to get to, it was fantastic.
I mean, how do you do all of this when you're also juggling A-levels? I mean, a huge year for you, last 2 years. I mean, you only set this up when you were 16.
Yeah, so I set this up last year. And yes, I have my A-levels coming up, but I think everyone has time to do something. People choose how to use their time, whether they go out shopping, but I decided to use my time that I had to do something better for the world. And I think if other people as well, if other the young generation out there started to do this as well, the world would be a much better place.
Now, you mentioned Saudi Arabia, but more generally, I mean, you want more girls to study STEM subjects.
Yeah.
What do you think it is that holds girls back?
I think it's perhaps the education system as a whole, which is holding girls back, in developing countries especially. Many girls, they don't go on to completing their full 12 years of quality education, which was promoted a lot by Chogam last week, actually. And I think that empowering women, and you have to realise that to empower women, you have to be able to educate them in a 21st century relevant education. So promoting STEM is essential.
Well, you've done astonishing work in just, what, 15, 18 months, Mahek Vara. Thank you so much for coming in and talking to me.
Thank you so much.